This is Wicked Rhody, a wicked good podcast about Rhode Island events and life. Hey everybody and welcome. My name is Mary Larson.
And I'm Ben DeCastro. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining for episode 56 of Wicked Rhody. I know, we're just cruising right along.
We are.
Cruising right along. Don't look at the calendar because, Thanksgiving and Christmas are well on their way.
I'm so excited.
And this weekend is Columbus Day weekend.
Already.
So when I was going through and looking at all the various events that are out there, all the different festivals, it is jam-packed. Mm-hmm. And it's just loaded with so many things happening in our area because this is really when, they have all you can wear the flannel shirt and the puffy vests and everything else. My wife,
boots.
Absolutely. Everything else. Yeah. My wife isn't a fan, though, of Uggs, believe it or not. She is not an Uggs person. And I realized that anytime you're drinking a pumpkin spice, whatever, it is standard attire to be wearing Uggs.
In Rhode Island, I guess?
Well, anywhere in New England, really, yeah. It's, but it just...
Is your wife a boots lady?
She does, yeah. She'll wear the boots that, they kind of look like state trooper boots, that come all the way up there. She's a fan of those. But not cowboy boots, not loose. The ones that kind of zip to. I don't know. I'm talking about. You're talking to the wrong guy when you want to talk about fashion.
But it's
and everything.
boot season.
It's
Ugg season. It is flannel time.
Puffy vests.
Love it all. She
can't get enough of those things, and of course, those things are so easy to store, and and compress right down and make only fit two in like a 25-gallon tote. So it works. So, hey, let's just for a second here. Let's just address the thing that everybody in the entire country has been talking about, and really around the world. The tragedy over there in Vegas. Of course, a good friend of ours, Sean Tempesta, who was he's Roadshow alum like you are. Mm-hmm. He's been over there working for the past few years, and obviously our hearts are just crushed for the situation that happened. I mean, who would have ever thought that something like that could happen? And being a person, who's a first responder and, in those kind of situations, I've never been in that kind of a situation, but I can only imagine what they're going through and people wanting to help and give back. And, one of the biggest things that you can do is donating blood, especially to the Rhode Island Blood Center here. And people are like, well, how does that get out to Vegas? You've got to think of blood donation. And a gentleman who used to, I believe he's still over there at the Blood Center, Glenn Halverson, explained it to me. He goes, Ben, it's like a giant chess game. You start moving the supplies and the reserves you need step by step closer. So it all helps to funnel and direct the donations because that's critical. And they went through, one of the people who was injured, one of the people went through some 80 some odd units of blood.
Wow.
That's like 2 to 3 times what you have, and maybe even 4 times what you have in your own body.
Yes.
And that is such a vital need. So by donating to the Rhode Island Blood Center here in Rhode Island or at their satellite locations, it allows them to back up their supplies that they've sent on its way towards the Vegas area. So the Vegas area will be supplied by the states immediately surrounding.
Yes.
And those states will be will get help from the outer states. It moves in strategically. Could a donated pint or whatever you donate here in Rhode Island end up in Vegas? It's very possible, especially when you have over 500 injured.
Right.
Depending on the level of severity or how they need. Blood is a critical thing.
Correct.
So, obviously...
But it's the trickle-down effect is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Is that, obviously right around Vegas, the blood supplies are incredibly limited.
Yep.
And so if they can pull from other places, then those places are going to need blood. So where can people donate? Like, where is the Rhode Island Blood Center?
Best way, they have their location, obviously, in Providence, and then they have some satellite locations. But if you go to ribc.org, and of course we can put a link up on our website and on our Facebook page, but you'll find the information there where you can make an appointment. You can learn about how to donate, who qualifies to donate, because there are some prerequisites there, like certain countries you can't have gone to. Believe it or not, my wife had cancer when she was a child. She can't donate. She's restricted just because. And that's it. So going on their website is the best way to learn.
Correct.
about the ways that you can help and support what they, support the efforts. And
if you can't, so Blake, my husband, he can't either because he had major injuries when he was younger. So if you can't, you can still spread the word. You can at
absolutely.
least share it on your Facebook page or tell other friends because it is always needed, but especially in times like this. So
certainly,
that's great to know.
Yeah, so check that out, and then it's a great weekend. I was as I put up in our show notes. I said this is a great weekend. You're like, why? I said, well, because the Pats play on Thursday night, which means all the events we're talking about on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you don't have to. You don't have to contend with a Patriots game if you have a Pats fan in your family. Yep. So
they're playing bye.
Absolutely. No. They play on Thursday night.
No, but so even better.
This isn't even their bye week. Their bye week is the first week in November. So we'll have an even jam-packed weekend that one too.
I love it.
But so if you're around, if you're tuned in while you're on the road, maybe you're listening during breaks of the game on Thursday night, the day this comes out, getting errands done or just doing whatever. Sit back, listen, and enjoy the episode. If you hear something that piques your interest, we'll have all the links and information for you in the show notes on our website, wickedroadypodcast.com. Mary, you have been so excited. I mean, this is an equivalent to Christmas for you, or Hanukkah if you're of the Jewish faith.
Hey, even if you're not, I still like to light my menorah.
There you go. So it's good. It's good. It's great. It provides a great source of light. So what's going on? What do you have?
The 10th annual Pronk Festival is happening on Monday, which is, the holiday of this weekend.
Sure.
It's going to be going on from 2 until 11 p.m. So what is Pronk? Well, Pronk is the Providence Honk Festival. Now, there's going to be the Honk Festival going on in Boston this weekend, but we get to have it right here. It's a amazing street celebration with in-town and out-of-town brass bands, street musicians, outfits, misfits, musicians, artists, activists, all kinds of people are going to be taking over South Water Street, and they're going to be having a parade as well. And this concert then goes on all night long. So it's just so much fun.
It's crazy because a few years ago I had met a friend of mine for coffee over on I think it's Coffee Exchange that's on there on Wickenden Street, and we're sitting there, we're chatting outside, and all of a sudden we start seeing these floats. And we start seeing all this stuff going in one direction. I'm thinking, okay, what's going on here? And she goes, oh, we have to. She goes, you can stay if you want to. I have somewhere to get to. I need to leave now before this place goes off the hook.
So the parade is at 5:30.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to go, great. If you don't want to be there or you have other things to do, make sure you're aware that these bicycles with like fish and everything else and it's
amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's all
really
different.
Creative.
It's from like the Wild Colonial on South Water Street to the Hot Club. So it's not a super long parade. It is something that is family friendly. These groups really march. Like not march, but they perform with a purpose. So you can check all that by going to their website, and then there's performances all day from 2 to 11. So I suggest definitely heading on over. You're going to hear some music that you may not normally get to hear.
It's just
and
awesome.
These groups are from around the country, sometimes from around the world. So once again, that's happening on Monday. It is the Pronk Festival.
Awesome. That's our wicked interesting pick of the week. And now here's the wicked fun in the 401. In honor of this show, because this music is also available in other libraries.
Yeah.
It seems to be coming up a lot when I'm doing my own videos and stuff. Like,
really?
Hey, would you like to use this music? I'm like, no, because
I hear that.
This music's really coined for the Wicked Fun in the 401. As heard on by the Wicked Rhody podcast. Hey, Saturday, October 7th, from noon to 8 p.m. at Bold Point Park in East Providence, it's Oktoberfest.
Woohoo!
It is the official send-off to summer and salute to the arrival of autumn. Returns to the waterfront and its new location, Bold Point Park on East Providence, the waterfront there. Now, this event used to be in Newport at the Newport Yachting Center. Okay. This was at Cardi's when I was with Cardi's Furniture. We were down there and it is awesome. All the awesomeness still exists with them. Okay. They've just moved it 20 miles north.
I love it.
Not even 20 miles. I don't know how many miles. I don't have the
something.
Ask
20 minutes.
Alexa, how far is Newport to East Providence? Everybody's Alexa's going crazy.
Oh, we're a Siri household.
That's right. But it's Columbus Day weekend, obviously, one day only, and it's such a great time. You've got food, you got bands, you got music, and they'll have a beer garden featuring a dozen seasonal, craft, domestic, and imported brews.
If you like beer, you're done. There's all sorts of options for you.
You will have the best of the worst there.
I like what you did there.
Thank you. They'll have plenty of German cuisine complemented by the lively and spirited sounds of live entertainment.
Nice.
So here's the deal. $20 day of. If you have a chance to go online now beforehand and pick them up, you can get it $15. And this is it's a full family event.
Okay.
But take my advice. By about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you're definitely going to want to be more towards the adults only.
Okay.
It just the
that
way
beer garden.
Exactly. Well, it's just the way the event shifts and takes on a whole different approach, and so. But hey, it's a wonderful event no matter what time you go. So check that out on Saturday from noon to 8 at Bold Point Park. It's the Oktoberfest. What else we got going on?
You're talking about all the different festivals that are going on this weekend. The Columbus Day Weekend Festival on Federal Hill. We can't not mention that.
It's huge.
It is ginormous. So the Federal Hill Commerce Association hosts this every single year on historic Federal Hill. It is one of the best Columbus Day festivals to attend because there's such great food and entertainment, craft beers, wine, seasonal cocktails. Once again, bring out your boots, your puffy vests. It does take place outside. The annual Columbus Day Parade is going to take place on Sunday, October 8th at 11 a.m. on Atwells Ave, but you can go anytime this weekend. Tons of food, great music, family friendly. It does get a little crowded.
Insane.
People, not insane. Like it's not like the beer garden will be at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock p.m. in East Providence, but it is crowded. So if you have little ones, put them in a stroller so that they would,
Good idea.
You can also bring dogs. I've seen dogs walk around there. So if you want to get out with your pooch, and just because it's outdoors, you're just walking around the street. But I'd highly recommend checking out that, especially if you like Italian food, because just little vendors right there.
Columbus, he wasn't Italian.
I know.
It's a beautiful thing. All right. This weekend is the kickoff to the Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular at the Roger Williams Park Zoo. Huge event. Ladies and gentlemen, can I give you advice?
Yes.
If you want to see this, go early. Go early as in date-wise. Meaning
Okay.
Go over the next week and a half.
Early October.
Yep. Because as it gets closer to Halloween, and this goes right through till November 5th, believe it or not, the lines get longer.
Yes.
The people are very enthusiastic about seeing it. It's great. But here's our little tip. If you want to check this out, check it out on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night.
Yep.
And go in the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
You will get to see everything. Seeing it on November 5th or seeing it on October 5th does not matter. Any day between there, you are still going to see over 10,000 illuminated, masterfully carved pumpkins. Yes. Unbelievable sights. They have been working on this for weeks. And coming up in the next week or two, we will have some free passes to give away. Here's another tip. Go online and get the tickets.
This starting this week.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is starting. Yeah, this starts tonight if you're listening to the day. But over the next 2 weeks, we'll have tickets to give out. So be sure to check back with us. But if you go online and snag your tickets, you can also skip the line. There's some parking considerations and alternatives there.
Yes to all of it.
Check it out. Do your research if you've never been. So it starts on October 5th, goes through November 5th. It is the Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular presented by Citizens Bank and Carty's Furniture at the Roger Williams Park Zoo.
The Situate Art Festival.
Oh, my goodness. Here it is.
One of my favorite festivals of the year.
Oh,
it is
boy.
so fun. This is its 51st year. It's one of my favorite traditions. There's food, crafts, beautiful fine art, home decor, and actually like bath products. I mean, you name it. If whatever you see that people make, they've got there. So I highly recommend you go check it out. It's going to be happening all this weekend. It's going to, you're just going to need to know. There's going to be a little parking. You got to walk a little bit, but it's really, really worth it. I always pick up something new for the house every year.
Yep.
It's kind of a tradition we have going on. Once again, great venue, lots of excitement. You feel like it's fall. You go to one of these festivals and you're like, fall is here in New England. It's just picture perfect. Situate in October, the leaves are just starting to change, and you got that little crispness in the air, and you can smell the caramel popcorn, that kettle corn. So I totally recommend.
Start your holiday shopping.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Maybe I will get more done this weekend.
Oh, Madonna, thank you so much for always bringing us in. So helpful, so accommodating. No matter where you are in the state of Rhode Island, you're never more than 18 and a half miles away from a coast or a border, that being Connecticut or Massachusetts. Sometimes both, depending on where you are.
Here you go.
But sometimes we've got to go just over the borderline, and there's great events just happening on our neighbors to the north or east or west.
Yeah.
Sometimes we talk about events in the South, like Block Island, but that's still Rhode Island, so it all counts. So
it does.
What's happening this weekend in our borderline segments?
Cranberry harvest celebration up in Wareham.
Ocean spray.
Right? This is so fun. If you haven't ever driven to, the Cape area during cranberry season, you gotta go. It is so beautiful. You get to learn about how the picturesque cranberry harvest happens. You probably have driven by cranberry bogs as a New Englander several times, but never really got to see what the harvesting process of these beautiful crimson berries is like. So you can even put on a pair of waders, those big boots, and step into a corral of berries. You're gonna get access to educational and historical displays, just view the beautiful landscape and harvest. You could take a helicopter ride over it, learn about some cooking with the cooking demos and some of the great chefs they've got there. There's going to be marketplace, musicians, farmers market, food concessions, pony rides, paddle boats, trains, live entertainment, wagon rides. Let me tell you, so great. Pets are not allowed.
Jerky and jacuzzis.
Right. Not those, but
yeah, there is.
What?
Yeah, they have jacuzzis for sale. They have the in the vendor marketplace. The soft tub.
You know those.
Jerky and jacuzzis, baby. Set it up.
So this is a rain or shine.
Salted meats.
Oh, God. I'm just picturing salted meats with now cranberry taste.
There you go.
Ugh, yuck.
Get you some of that.
Have you ever been to a cranberry bog?
I went last year.
Oh my gosh, yes, you did.
Susan, 2 years ago, I had an event on the day of this happening.
Yeah.
And I send my wife a text, and I said, "Hey, what you doing?" She goes, "Oh, I went to Wareham." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, you're a brave Rhode Islander, just on a whim."
No, over
she
the
said,
borderline.
"No, you got to see this place." And it wasn't that far. It was like a 30-minute drive from our house. We live in East Bay, so it's real close. So check that out. It's a great event. They do a great job. They really they got great parking.
What was your favorite part?
The ride home. No, I really it's cool to see how they go through the entire process of making flooding the bogs, and you can actually go up on top of a truck. They build a bridge over a truck in a bog, so you can see how they harvest them, and they kind of they have these machines that they sell there if you own it.
How'd they do in the old days? Did they just rub their fingers along
You know what? It's funny because they have the scoop thing. It's a wooden, it's weird to describe, but if you look up old wooden cranberry scoop, it's got like these tines, these fingers on it, and they would just flood it up a little bit and do it by hand, where they would just scoop it up, and it has a little grate on the bottom side, and there's your cranberries. Nowadays, they drive this little machine that it reminds me of, is it Beauty and the Beast, where he gets a thing to like a machine to drive, and it's got like all these different fingers and stuff, or maybe it's some other Disney movie. I don't know. But anyway, it's crazy. It was a great time.
I love it.
I enjoyed the jerky.
Now I know that they did really have jerky there. Yes,
they did. So absolutely. So,
what else is going on?
Hey, on Monday night, after you've done every event we've talked about,
yes,
every event we've talked about, Monday night it is the Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses Extra Point Show happening at their South Attleboro location, right off Exit 2 off of Route 95 in South Attleboro, Mass. Of course, they're opening up their new Ashley store this weekend, so you can check that out as well on the top floor of the Cardi's location. Nate Ebner of the New England Patriots will be at Cardi's at 7 o'clock on Monday night for the Extra Point Show, the Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses Extra Point Show. And the first 100 people there get a free autograph photo of Nate Ebner. Who's Nate Ebner?
I don't know.
He is a safety, which means he is...
Does he protect someone?
I think he's the one who's in charge of doing fire drills.
Okay, yes.
But he was also he was on the 2016 Olympic rugby team.
Yes.
So he is quite the athlete.
Truly.
Quite the athlete. He
Well-rounded.
plays football with pads and without pads.
Good for him.
Yeah, so he'll be there. He's a super nice guy. It's a great interview. It's broadcast live on 103.7 WEEI FM. And it's videotaped as well. Well, not videotape, but it's recorded for play on MyRI-TV. So
Awesome.
you get to see a live TV and radio show happen. That's on Monday night, 7 p.m. Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses in South Attleboro. Also check out their new Ashley store. It's gorgeous.
So we mentioned a lot of different events that you can bring pets to, you could bring kids to, but what do you have that is specifically wicked family friendly?
The corn maze at Escobars Farm at 255 Middle Road in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. This is an 8-acre corn maze.
Yep.
Big.
Yep.
Huge. Pack a lunch. Maybe some flares. Just kidding. Don't bring flares. And they have concession stands there as well. You can pick up some snacks or a cold beverage to help you make it through to the other side. But it's such a great event. Escobar is good friends. It's actually right down the road from my family's farm, DeCastro Farms. Only we don't do a corn maze. Yes, you ask any DeCastros, like, no, we got to keep working. We can't have fun. But they make this corn maze, which is great. Escobar had a huge fire a number of years ago in his cow barn. And the community rallied together, helped rebuild the cow barn because he supplies milk for various dairies. And they have this corn maze that they've done every year. It is awesome.
Yes.
It is open on weekends, and you can go down there. They've got pumpkins available. If you're looking for souvenir items, they have it available. If you're looking for great produce afterwards, you can just go right down the road to DeCastro Farms and say hi to my dad. He'll be there, and so you can go shopping as well. And if you're interested in scheduling like a field trip, you can contact them. Just give them a call. We'll have the link on our website. But this is such a great corn maze. They do a wonderful job.
It's my favorite one. I'm a corn maze connoisseur.
It is big. They have people who are trained. They are like Siri or Google Maps for the corn maze. So check that out. Happening now, right on through till November 8th. It is the Escobars Corn Maze in Portsmouth, Rhode Island.
So from time to time, we have some awesome giveaways that we get to give to some of our listeners. And one of the recent giveaways that we had was given to us from our friends at King Richard's Fair, which is still going on. Want to congratulate Melissa Boyd Colvin and Julie Ruffin. They both won family pack tickets to go to King Richard's Fair. So congrats. Have fun. I myself am going to be going to King Richard's Fair this weekend. Pretty pumped. Stay tuned to see some pictures. Hopefully I'll get myself a turkey leg.
I was going to say, this is now more than ever.
Right? Our next giveaway is for 2 tickets to see the Rhode Island Philharmonic's next concert. Remember that they are doing a conductor search. So each concert weekend is going to be a brand new conductor that is auditioning for the role of a new conductor. So this week it is Eckhart Prue, and he's going to be doing the Saint-Saëns Organ Symphony. It's going to be, of course, at the Vets. Super excited. Famed pianist Alan Goldstein is going to be returning doing Mozart's striking 20th Piano Concerto. They're going to be a 2-ticket giveaway for this. You can head on over to our website, wickedrodypodcast.com, or on our Facebook to enter. I can't wait for you guys to get these tickets. And as Ben alluded to earlier, we also are going to have a giveaway up for some tickets to the Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular.
That's going to be awesome.
Super pumped. Oh, I didn't even mean to do that.
No, well, hey.
The Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular can be a romantic night.
It really could. It really could. Wicked romantic, Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular. Keep it clean because this gets there. And now, here's the end of the show.
There we go. That's the
good.
button.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's still new to us. So we're only 56 episodes in here. Hey, as we said in the beginning of the show, everything we talked about today can be found on our website, wickedroadypodcast.com.
Find us on Facebook, on Instagram, and if you post photos from any of these awesome events or any event that you go to in and around Southern New England, we want to know about it. You can tag us at Wicked Rhody, or you can use the hashtag Wicked Rhody.
Absolutely. If you're looking for advertising or sponsorship information, if you want access to our huge base of listeners and followers on social media and to the podcast, you can email us at wickedroadypodcast@gmail.com.
Until next time, folks, I'm Mary Larson.
And I'm Ben DeCastro.
And you've been listening to Wicked Rhody. We'll have more for you next Thursday.